Emotions immediately after that?
Oh yeah, well I feel like we might have got a bit lucky, which is nice sometimes. Sometimes you play really well and don't win, and other times you're probably not quite where you want to be and you get away with a win. So I thought the positive was that we just hung in there. But yeah, a lot of the numbers would say North Melbourne should probably win that game. So that's all right. We've in the context of the season, really significant because based on the fact there's one round to go, it'll secure top two, which gives us a couple of home finals. So we're happy. Is the overarching emotion.
That was obviously one of the goals early. I mean, how significant is that now to clinch that top two?
Yeah, well, I think top four is really significant, and so all things being equal, North Melbourne are in that boat as well. So. That clearly gives you a double chance and makes the path, hopefully to a grand final a little bit easier. But in the end, what's coming is some really high pressure finals-like games, a bit like today. And we'd hope that out of today we might learn a few things and do that a little bit better when that moment comes. But yeah, the fact that we get top two, I think one of the great things about that is that now we'll get to play in front of our fans, our members, and that's a really important part of being a good footy club is providing that opportunity to your members and supporters to be part of it. So that's the huge bonus out of the win today.
You mentioned obviously some of the numbers there. Are there concerns or you?
Yeah, look, we want to play better, and probably over the last two games, there's elements of our game which we're probably not that happy with, but equally, it's not always perfect all of the time. So you have to just be mindful that you don't dig too deeply into some of those things, and also recognise there's an opposition out there who played a really strong game, and also we've got players that have played at a really high level over a long period of time, and they've got great capacity to step up. But yeah, we need to tighten up a few little things, and we'll look to do that.
What are those things that you'd like to tighten?
Well, at the start of the game they were marking everything, so that was a concern. The inside 50 differential is well out of whack, and that was partly the clearance was about even. But what was happening is essentially they got it in and they kept it in by getting repeat entries. So the way that we manage that needs to be done better, both in terms of our ability to get a contest ahead of the ball, but then also, if we can't do that, to defend as it comes back in. There was a number of times, I think that they had like 13 marks inside 50, and a lot of them were on re-entry, uncontested. So that was an area we didn't execute well, but we were lucky and we got away with it.
That desperation that you guys showed throughout the last quarter in particular, do you feel that points to fitness, or what does it point to in particular to ride that out?
Well, I think both teams were at the level with regard to that. There was no lack of effort or intent from either side. We were happy with that component of how we went about it, but probably just the system and the method with which we did that across the day wasn't quite where we wanted to be. But equally, we did enough to keep ourselves in the contest and to take a chance when it came.
So Chelsea Rain will go down to the rooms. How's she going?
Yeah, no, she's fine. Yeah, she's fine. She's had a big week. But yeah, no, she's like as lots of athletes do towards the back end of their career. She's managing some stuff, but yeah, lots of players are managing stuff at this time of the season. She came back out. She keeps getting it done, doesn't she? Yeah, no, she'll be fine.
How did you see that last 2 minutes? Drawing that up as a coach?
Yeah, chaotic. And we didn't do it right, but we did it well enough, I guess. Yeah, there was definitely some pieces of that which we would like to execute a little bit differently. But it's one of the things we love about footy is it is pretty chaotic at times, and you have to just sort of make it up on the fly. But yeah, we could definitely do that better.
You're pretty pleased with that forward stoppage that led to that Kelly goal. That was a bit special.
Yeah. No, as I said, I'll have to look back at it, but clearly North will look at it and say, we let a player loose on the outside, and we'll look at it and say we managed to manufacture a player loose on the outside. So, both teams, we're happy with the outcome. The same thing could have happened late in the game at the other end because they had players loose on the outside, and we were, as I say, we were a bit lucky today.
Zoe Prowse's copped a whack to the face?
Yeah, but she's fine. And she kicked a goal, the second goal in her career. Most of you won't No, but her first goal was almost accidental. It kind of hit her foot on the way through, so we were giving her a bit of ribbing about that. But it was really important. Got us going, got us back in the game.
Sort of dangle the carrot for a finish on top. Sort of, is that a motivator? Or?
It's a pretty unlikely scenario. I'm not a mathematician, but I think it's unlikely. But we will go over in terms of the percentage. Ultimately, our job will be to go over next week, play a really strong game, and hopefully win. And if we do that bit, well then, that's a possibility. But ultimately, the top two is significant, and we're really happy that's played out today.
How do you approach West Coast? Obviously, they're bottom of the ladder, but you've got teams that have, a little bit against them.
No, ultimately, the margin across the league is narrowing, which is great. I mean, our game against the Western Bulldogs here, I think, would be an example of that, where in the end, I think we won quite comfortably, but across the duration of the game, it was contested and it was a really tight, tense battle. And so there's no doubt that's exactly what it'll be next week. They've got themselves going again, and they've won a couple of games, and they'll want to finish their season really strongly, and we want to finish our minor round really strongly as well. So it'll be business as usual, really.
And how is MJ?
Yeah, well, I haven't spoken to her, but I think they're pretty happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I believe that's the first child to have two parents as players.
Well, you'll have to. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, can't lock that one in as a mother's son.
Nah, well, we'll wait and see. I think we'll just let her MJ and Tommy just enjoy the next little period. We won't worry too much about all that stuff. Cheers.